The number one reason why we say we haven't gotten started is because we don't have enough money. Now, truthfully speaking, do you really not have enough money, or are you really not putting your money into things that will actually help you get started, help you on your entrepreneur journey, help you start a business? Now, so how do you eliminate the excuse of not having enough money? Well, it's simple. One, if you have a business, if you're looking to start a business, then you need to find people that are like-minded, just like you, and get them on board by offering them a very small piece of what it is that you're building. Think about it. Facebook did it. Apple did it. Microsoft did it. All these different people, or these different iconic companies started with no money, right? And then eventually they got, VCs, venture capitalists came in and gave them money. But however, they started off by bootstrapping, and they got people that believed in the mission and the vision to start being a part of what it is that they were doing, offering them a small stake. That's why they say in certain companies like Microsoft, for example, or Apple, or better yet, Facebook, even secretaries are millionaires. Okay, just very, very small. I mean, those who were there at the beginning, very, very small equity in whatever it is that you're doing. You can find people that believe in what you're doing, get them on board, and guess what? You can start your business. So having no money is no excuse. The number two reason is not enough time. Now, come on, let's be real. This bullshit, okay? Not enough time. Ask yourself this question. How much time do you spend on social media each day? Okay? How much time do you spend scrolling on social media, looking through the feeds, looking who liked your post or shared your post, when maybe some of that time could be spent building your dream, planning out what it is you say you want to do? You have no excuse. There's always time, even if you work a 9 to 5. Okay, listen to this. And my numbers are going to be a little off here, okay? Because, I did a video not that long ago where I talked about the true amount of time you have to build your personal brand and your dream. I said you go to work for 8 hours, you sleep for 8 hours. There's 16 hours of your day gone, okay? And so if you take 24 hours in a day minus 16, how many hours do you have left? That's 8, okay? Now, when you multiply 8 times the number of days in the week, and then multiply that times the number of months there are in a year, guess what? That's 2,900 and something hours, or the equivalent of a third of a year that you could be working on your personal brand, working on your dream, that is, you say you want, of being an entrepreneur. So, really, you have no excuse when it comes to saying you don't have enough time. Now, what should you do with your time? You should only involve, and this is how you solve the quote-unquote alleged problem or the phantom problem of not having enough time. What you should do is, or at least my suggestion to you, is simply this. You should only spend your time or the majority of your time with people, outside of working and sleeping, with people and in activities that push your agenda forward. That's the simple solution, right? And don't beat yourself up if you're having a hard time adjusting to the time thing. Remember, I believe in the compound effect. Incremental improvements over a period of time leads to massive results. But you actually have to put in that time to improving in order to get the result you desire. Now, number 3, not the right time. Come on, folks. If it's not money, if it's not time, that's your excuse. You know what? It's always going to be not the right time. Not the right time. Think about all of the companies that actually, like American Standard Insurance, this huge company, insurance company that started during the Great Depression. Okay? Think about that. Okay? This huge company that started during the Great Depression, when even rubbing 2 nickels together was very, very difficult for people standing in soup lines. Okay? Right now, we live in an age where we have an overabundance of free-ish, okay? We have access to more information, more technology than ever. So much so that technology is democratized, meaning that everyone has access to it. It's just a matter of us getting rid of the excuse of it not being the right time and taking advantage of all of the resources around us to really get started in what it is we say we want to do in 2020. Okay? Now, also not the right time. Think about all the companies that struggled during the economic collapse in 2007, 2008. Think about it. Think about that. Think about it, okay? And sure, some companies got the bailouts. A lot of major banks and a lot of car companies got the bailout. But what about those smart individuals that said to themselves, I know I lost everything, but if I continue to drive forward during this time, I'll be able to build something. In other words, like Warren Buffett says, the best time to make money is when there's blood in the streets. There were so many people that got rich that during the economic collapse in 2008, because guess what? For them, it was the right time because they saw opportunity. So the question is, do you see opportunity, or will you continue to use the excuse that it's not enough and it is not the right time? I think only you can answer that question. This is actually funny too, because I thought strongly about putting this on the list, because this basically came from a conversation I had with someone that I know, and a person hearing this, they'll know exactly who they are. My ex might get something in the divorce. That is the lamest ass excuse I ever heard for not starting your business. So you mean to tell me you would much rather suffer, because you don't want somebody to get something of what you're building because you're going through a divorce? That is lame, okay? That's some lame shit, okay? Yeah, I'm a little bit being harsh, but I call it tough love. It's lame, okay? It is absolutely 100% lame not to start something because you're going through a divorce, or maybe you're going through a bankruptcy, or maybe what you're going through something, but you don't want to get started because you feel like somebody else will get some of what it is that you don't even have. You know why? Because you haven't gotten started. So what you need to do is change that mindset and just get started. So what? They get something, okay? But that means you have something. If in order for them to get something, you actually have to have something. So get started. That's a lame excuse. Number 5, blaming others for not getting started. Oh my God, this is so interesting. Blaming others for not getting started on your entrepreneur journey or not starting that business is a lame ass excuse. Why? Think about this. How many times have you said, or have you heard, that is, have you heard someone say, well, the job I'm working on, I spend a lot of hours there, but if I could just get some vacation time, I can get started. There is no reason for you not to have time because you say someone is taking too much of your time to really get started. So you've got to stop blaming others, okay? Maybe you said, well, the person didn't give me what they said they were going to give me, so now I can't get started in my business. I don't have the money. That's lame, okay? Just get started in 2020. You have no excuse. You have absolutely 100% no excuse for not getting started, because when you start blaming others for you not doing what it is that you're supposed to do, then guess what? You are letting other people control you. You're letting other people dictate your destiny. If you're supposed to be the master of your fate, okay, controller of your destiny, okay, if you're the king entrepreneur, male or female, or queen entrepreneur, whatever it is you say that you are, especially when you're fronting on social media with your glasses, taking your cool pics out, showing all the work that you're doing when you're not really doing ish, Get rid of the excuses. Don't blame others and get started. Number 6, analysis paralysis. Let's be honest. How many of us have not gotten started on something because we're looking into it? That is the lamest ass excuse ever. Looking into it. How long do you need to look into it? Look, the best way to get started is just to get started. Okay? Once you got enough information to act, then you need to act. Because you got to remember, there is no perfect time. There will not be the perfect place. You will not always have the money you need in order to get started. You know what? When you're looking for perfection, perfection is the enemy of good enough. And good enough is how most companies and most entrepreneurs, true entrepreneurs, act. You want to know why? That's why they'll put a product out. They'll find out all the bugs in the product or the service, and then they'll improve. Okay? They even do what is called prototyping and beta testing. They do all these different things. True entrepreneurs, they don't worry about perfection. In fact, they expect to fail. Okay? Failure is great. You want to know why? Because when you fail, you know what's wrong. And when you know what's wrong, then you're wise and hip to the game. Okay? Being wise and hip to the game of what's going on with your business or your startup as an entrepreneur is exactly what you need to be successful. Okay? So, enough analysis paralysis. Stop overanalyzing things and just get started. And you know how you just get started? You have someone hold you accountable. Okay? Whether it's your spouse, your significant other, your family, your friends, whatever. Have someone hold you personally responsible for what it is you say that you want to do and that you're going to do. And if you care anything about what those people say or think, right, then guess what? You'll do it. But if you don't, if just looking cool on social media, saying you're an entrepreneur and you have a business is what it is that you want to do, well, just continue to look cool. Okay? But I guarantee you, shit ain't going to happen. Okay? Unless you stop overanalyzing and just get started. All right? And to me, the number one, even though I did the numbers in, from 1 to 7, but I really think that number 7 is actually number 1. The number one reason why, or number 7 on the list, people don't get started, it is fear. Okay? False evidence appearing real. Fear. Think about this. Fear. What you really should be afraid of is being one paycheck away from losing everything. What you really should be afraid of is working on a job for 20 years, and this just recently happened to some people here in Houston, working on a job for 20 years in radio, and then all of a sudden, you're off the air. You have not built anything. And I'm not saying that that's the case with everyone that got in this situation that got taken off the air. But truthfully speaking, I know some of the people personally, and I know that they didn't save, they didn't have other businesses going on. And you, as an entrepreneur, have no excuse. Even if you are getting paid from multiple sources, just as what they call the BI triangle, the business investment triangle with Robert Kiyosaki's Rich Dad, Poor Dad, where you have an employee at the top, which that's where you get on the left side of the BI triangle. Employee gets paid, right? Gets a salary. You got a self-employed at the bottom. You got a business owner. And you got an investor. You, as an entrepreneur, can get paid from all of it, but ultimately, with no excuses, you want to move from being an employee and self-employed, right, over to being a business owner, a true business, meaning that you don't have to be there for the business to exist, right? Where you have systems that are so easy, like McDonald's, even a student can run it, to where you're also making passive income through real estate, through stocks, etc., as an investor. For all those who haven't read Rich Dad, Poor Dad, Robert Kiyosaki's book, you should definitely pick it up. All right. So, the number one reason is fear. false evidence appearing real. But guess what's so real about fear? Ultimately, it will come true. Okay? Anything that you fear will come true. If you fear that you're going to fail, and that's why you don't want to get started, truthfully, you failed. You know why? Because you haven't gotten started. So do not let fear be the factor. Sorry, Joe Rogan, just a little play on that fear factor. For you old heads out there that remember that TV show, you'll know what I'm talking about. But don't let fear be the factor that forces you not to act.